Welcome back, class. This is Mark Mullinax.
Chandler Schroeder.
Welcome back to class number 12 and How Religion Gets Made, part of the Technicolor Dream Code of Religion series of classes that we're offering here. So today we're doing Godology, part 2, ideas and isms about the very human ways that God is perceived. Okay, so here we go. Just a thought, class. We've done this before, but a real class asks questions. What do you think? Why not ask us some questions about this class? Questions that this class has raised for you. And we'll address one question per show, maybe?
Maybe two.
Think we'll get any questions?
I hope so. Ask us anything.
Okay.
I mean, seriously. You know, if it's something about this class, great. If it's something about, the Tao. If it's something about therapy. If it's something, why not?
Okay.
We'd love to talk about it and relate it all back.
Related to the class.
Yeah.
Also, if you're hating the class, let us know. If you are loving the class, let us know, and also tell somebody. That'd be great.
Yeah.
So today we look at the many, many ways that God has been conceived of. Not just male or female or number, like one or two or three or multiple, any thousands. We're going to find all kinds of ways that God has been conceived. And so
you mean like in Hinduism?
Yeah.
Right? Where one is able to conceive of every iota of creation.
Everyone.
Every single one.
You mean this mouse?
That mouse. And every atom and element that mouse is.
Is God.
Is God. Yep.
Not is like God or
Nope.
God is in it.
It is.
It is one-on-one with God.
Yep. Your bow tie is.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
Yeah. So that makes ethics really good. If I destroy this mouse, do I destroy God?
Part of him.
Ouch.
Part of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So there's no one-size-fits-all God for all times and places and concepts. So let's get into it. By the way, I've written something that is basically the emphasis that I made in class 9. I wrote an essay. It's called Necessary Misunderstandings. And if you'd like to have that essay, I'll be glad to respond to your email requesting it.
For now, okay, instead of asking who is God, which is what we've been asking, talking about anthropomorphism, who, right?
Yeah.
Now we want to talk about what is God. What are the elements that make G-O-D?
Okay.
So looking at various other ways that our ancestors around the world have understood what God is. They didn't hear the stuff that we heard. They didn't have somebody telling you God is this, God is that. They came up with it.
They didn't have a religion and a dualistic empire.
Yeah,
like we
they were
have.
like, this is good, this is bad. That's
Yeah.
all we know,
Yeah.
And to then demonstrate that without the imagination, which we've talked about, which is where all of this creation comes from, without the imagination, there would be no God, nowhere, no time, never ever, not going to happen.
Amen. What's the reason for so many gods in the past? I think it's that anthropomorphism again. Some temporary human steroid injected into the idea of what people are thinking at some time, and they want to see a greater being than themselves over them, and so they project their wants, their desires, and their insecurities onto that God.
Yeah.
But they don't. These things don't age well. These anthropomorphic gods age well. That's why we have very few people today worshiping the ancient gods of Greece and Rome.
Right.
You just don't do it. So remember that Graveyard of the Gods video we showed last time?
From last time, yeah. But see, someone made these gods up in their imagination.
Yeah.
They painted them with human attributes and emotions, etc.
Yeah.
So I wonder, I'm going to ask this question. Does God make us, or do we make the gods?
Yes.
There you go.
Well, you could do the Frank Lloyd Wright quote: "We make our buildings, or we shape our buildings, and then our buildings in turn shape us."
Yep.
It could be that. Okay. All right.
Yep.
So most gods are male throughout history. Okay, which makes me wonder. Most societies with gods are male-dominant societies. And since the dominant males had the most power to make religion, they also had the power to write texts, like sacred texts, like Bibles and Qurans and stuff like that. So because even the males even had the only power of the day to read and write, the females often were kept illiterate. This is Marxism again. The ruling ideas of every age are always the ages of its rulers, and men dominated. So if you have male gods, hello, the males are dominant. Mary Daly is right again.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
So I have a second wondering.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, right? Okay. I love goddesses. Just saying.
Yeah.
I do. Especially as counterweights to the male-heavy religions.
Yeah.
Right? So not the goddesses that you were thinking just then. But as these counterweights. But are not goddesses themselves anthropomorphic?
Oh, boy.
Also.
You just opened a can of worms.
I did. I know. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you say that your God looks like you, okay, right? Acts like you, loves the same things you love, hates the same things that you hate, then is that thing that you worship,
goddess,
is that goddess that you're worshiping God?
Ooh.
So put that in your critical thinking. Don't be a bitch, pipe and smoke it.
Gosh. Wow. So, introduction over. Let's get to the main topic. So, we're going to look at these particular ways that God has been conceived: dynamism, animism, theism, pantheism, panentheism, polytheism, henotheism, which may really disturb you, monotheism, dualism, which disturbs the hell out of me, and ethical monotheism, tritheism, agnosticism,
Fascinating.
maltheism, God hates you, misotheism,
No.
I hate God, and atheism.
There is no God.
Yeah, there is no God. So we're going to spend a few minutes with each of these. So you ready, guys?
Let's do it.
Here we go. First up, theism. You want to take this?
Sure. So theism, baseline belief in the existence of God or gods. At least God exists, and usually it's invisible.
That's theism, yeah.
Like the wind. It's
Yeah.
there, you know it, but you can't see it. So God or the gods or goddesses, like I said, usually have human characteristics or likenesses, anthropomorphic, and that gods exist and they look like us.
Yeah. Now, there's no one religion that is called theism.
Right.
Theism is just a broad category of projecting ideas of God out there and saying that there are gods. So it's not like there's a religion, unlike some of the others that we're about to look
There
at.
are religions for that. Yep.
Okay. Next one is dynamism. Can you unpack that word? Dyna, energy.
Energy. Right.
And have you ever been out in the forest or climbed rocks and you said, "Boy, that tree feels powerful," or that rock's got some
Energy behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is dynamism, where people imagine. There's the I word. They
Yep.
imagine that tree or that crooked tree or that rock with strange formation is an object of awe and
Right.
admiration,
Yep.
because it's thought to be a location, an actual place of extreme and concentrated power.
Yep. Yep.
But this force has no plans for your future. It doesn't
It's true.
love you. It doesn't interact with you.
Doesn't care.
It's just like a battery living inside, or like living inside a nuclear generator. It's just there, kind of humming along. But you just respect it and keep your distance.
Yep. Or else.
Yeah. But there's no personal relationship, no personality, no intentionality. This God is not going to come in and make over your life. None at all. But that's
exists.
That's dynamism. Okay. And here's a few examples of this. Ayers Rock in Australia, and some tree. I think I took a picture of this in Korea.
Yeah.
Yeah. But people come and just
gawk at it.
Yeah. Right. Something's there.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So next would be animism. Let's unpack this word. It's a very close cousin to dynamism. Various objects in the world are sources or locations of discrete spirits, like the spirit of a place. Oh, I'm here. Do you feel the spirit? Do you feel the energy here?
Yeah, yeah.
This tree or that rock is not just a thing, but it has character and to which one can relate. So, like, you'll keep this mountain happy with sacrifices, visits, rituals. The Buddhists, for instance, they call Everest Jumnalunga.
Oh.
Which is the mother goddess of the earth.
Yeah.
She is that mountain.
Yeah. That's right. Okay.
But if not, watch out for volcanoes or earthquakes. The Hollywood idea that virgins must be sacrificed to placate an angry spirit.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the same idea. So there are gods everywhere, and you must relate to them. You must keep them happy.
Yeah. That's what's going on in basic 101 animism. Okay. And a little cartoon for that one.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of what else, yeah.
Yeah. Next, pantheism. Let's break it down. Pan means all or everything. Theism, everything's God. There is a divine source out there, but not one focused in volcanoes or trees or rocks, and not even like personages not like on Mount Olympus. No, and this is where the Vedic or the Hindu tradition really helps me out. I really like this idea. All is divine. The way you treat the slightest iota of creation is how you basically are treating God. Pantheists, like Hindus, see this power as uniformly distributed throughout the world. In everything, this divine person or this divinity is inherent, it's implicit, and there's this is part of this internal dimension of everything that it is. So you see this divine as, not just in a person. Hear the preposition? It's as a person, not in a person. It's as a tree, not in a tree or sunset, because they are divine. So the concluding here is that God is everything, and everything is God. Okay?
So ethically, what you do to the thing,
Yeah.
you're doing to God.
Yeah.
If you stomp on that ant,
Yeah. Yeah.
you just stomped on God.
Yeah. Exactly. And one of the ways that you greet someone in Hinduism is with namaste, which is basically two gods have just met and they recognize each other.
Yep.
Isn't that cool?
The divine in me sees the divine in you.
Yeah, or acknowledges the divine. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Next one.
Next is panentheism.
Yeah.
Right? So add that in there. God is not one-on-one identified with a material object or person at all.
All right.
Right? But God is so pervasive, so permeating that God is in everything, including every situation, every person, every atom, every breath, everything.
And the key for it is in, not as.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So God is in the sunset, in that person, in this medical situation, in the taxes, in the politics, in everything. This God force in everything is the divine's signature.
Yeah.
Right? So, by the way, liberal Christians,
Oh, they love this.
absolutely, all day long, man.
Yeah.
God is everywhere.
And Unitarians also, yeah, just yeah, got it. Okay. All right. So God's energy is activating and energizing all things, like a divine battery within all creation. Yeah. Okay. And here's some panentheism pictured.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. All right. Next is polytheism, which we've heard, and I was always said, just be careful. That's so evil. Polytheists actually restrict, they limit the actual sheer number of gods that an animist might do. Okay? So the idea of God is not just any old rock or any old tree or any old mountain, but it's a kind of theism with several or many gods, but a limited number of gods, not an infinite number. Example is the Mount Olympus, where each divinity had their own realm and their own strength or interest for which they're known, and then that's their strength, and they go out and exercise their strength. But they're constantly in conflict with one another, for they're so anthropomorphic in the worst kind of ways, jealousy and competitiveness and, the sexual rivalry and stuff. But what this does is provide us a rich, very rich tapestry of the ways of the world. It explains why we are the way we are. So I like polytheism because it helps us understand the forces, the various forces within us that seem to be at war with each other,
right,
and and within ourselves.
Yeah. And why is it there? Well, because it's divine.
Yeah. A couple of pictures here for the polytheist.
And the Olympic gods and goddesses, which we talked about back in 9 and 10.
Yeah, right. So, ready for our next god style? It's called henotheism.
Here's an interesting one. So you have your single tribal god, and I got mine. You got yours, I got mine.
Live and let live.
Yeah, live and let live.
I'm not gonna fight you for it.
Nope, because it's mine, and that's yours.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So Americans and the Iraqis can worship their respective gods, and each can believe that they are worshiping one God, different God, but that's okay.
Yeah.
You do you.
Yeah. Live and let live.
Right. Henotheism is prevalent in the Old Testament. All right, just saying. So, like, for example, the Ten Commandments in Exodus. Exodus 20, 3 through 5, while forbidding the worship of other gods, do not explicitly deny their existence. You're just not supposed to do it.
Yeah.
But they're still there.
You guys understand that? It's not denying the existence of other gods. It says there are gods out there, basically, but you don't worship them.
Right. So we got our single God. They got their God. Right? So what's the problem? Who cares if we call ours Allah and they call theirs God or Atman or Brahman?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So now we're going to get into some real ideas that are very powerful today.
And some you may have not heard of in the past.
Well, so it may get controversial here. So there's, where my email is, right? And this is where I think that the American scene is most prevalent. Is dualism or bitheism or ditheism or duotheism. They're just two gods. And we've seen that Satan-Christ figure, right? That picture, remember that? Just two gods, two co-supreme powers, but they're differentiated morally. One's really good, one's really terrible bad. One is the God of the good, the virtuous, the other is this demonic power. In modern theology or modern mythology, it's called the force and the dark side.
The dark side, yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
Dualism is captured in many religions these days. Zoroastrianism in ancient Persia or modern-day Iran started it all in West India, in Iran, and Persia. And what happened was, during the exile, they are liberated from exile by the Persians, okay? They even call the king a Messiah in the book of Isaiah. The Persians, where Zoroastrianism is centered, becomes, well, it starts to alter the Jewish faith, okay? And so when people come back from the exile, they're much more dualistic, good God, bad God. And this is when the idea of a Satan, originally it was called Hasatan, the Satan, but then becomes a person, as in Satan. And this Satan figure then infiltrates Christianity, and there's two gods forever locked in mortal combat throughout the ages. Yep. And this is how we operate in our country, militarily, economically, spiritually. We are dualists through and through because we don't really suffer the other side to exist. Right. We don't have this yin-yang symbol where there's a dark and a light in everything. And the object of the yin-yang symbol is to have everything that's dark handshake with the light, and everything that's light handshake with the dark.
And here's the question.
But yeah.
What's that question?
Well, I was going to say, but in dualism, there is no handshaking. It's kill. It's kill. It's kill. Okay?
Without one, would there be the other?
Yes.
There would.
I think there could be.
So, let's say good versus bad. If all I knew was good, and everything was good, and I had nothing bad, would good exist, or would it just be it?
I don't know. In a dualist worldview, it's hard to answer that question with a no. With a no. Right. Because we're so steeped in it's the very water we live in and breathe. Yeah. And so some people will claim, I would never know the good without the bad. I would never know the bad without the good. I get that. But do you have to have it so extreme, so countered to each other, so they're in eternal dualistic combat, where one has to be vanquished and never redeemed?
It's true.
I think that if there's a good God, if there's a God in the universe, then everything will be redeemed
through that.
Yeah. That's what I hope.
Right. Yeah, that's what we hope. Cross your fingers.
But that's my imagination.
Right.
Okay. So here's that Zoroastrianism still alive in America today. Most people get this. If you get this really easily, then you've probably been influenced by dualism.
Yep.
Can you deconstruct your dualism? Probably not. Sad to say, unless you got about $20,000 to pay a therapist.
I mean, I
Yeah.
know of one.
Yeah. Okay. For you critical thinkers, this dualism, this bitheism is probably the most common form of divinity outstanding in the United States today. You may want to debate this. I'll be glad to. You may want to get upset at this, but everything supports it.
Especially Hollywood.
Ding, ding, ding.
All right.
Got white hat?
Right. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the military supports this too. I mean, like, we're always the good guys. They're always the bad guys.
Yeah.
And this, especially with the separation of our parties, our party lines here, that's a big one.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
America's always good.
Yeah.
Everyone else is always bad.
Yeah. Yeah. This is it's getting worser and worser.
Yeah, it is.
Part of my English.
love
Sorry,
it.
but not sorry.
That's great.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the next one.
Deism, a monotheism without personality or personhood.
Whoa.
Right? So one supreme God, very other, unknown, no personality, no prayers to this God,
No anthropomorphism?
no anthropomorphism.
Oh, there's one.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Good. Okay.
It's completely unknown. He came, created, set up universe's laws, and then said, "See you later."
Yeah.
Like
Wow.
there was a creator, there was a thing that happened, and then said, "All right, I'm out. I'll see you later."
Yeah.
So other and so transcendently beyond anything human. God has no concerns of this world.
Mm-hmm.
Set the clock in motion, walked away.
Yeah.
So God is an object of respect from a huge distance.
Yeah.
Way far away. Light years away. Never the target of fellowship or communion or working together. Deism is an important part of the religious worldview when the United States emerged out of the colonial world.
Who are our deists? Ben Franklin,
Ben Franklin,
George
yep.
Washington.
The founding fathers.
They were
Absolutely.
deists. They were not
Yep.
Christians.
God started the spark. Here you go. Here's your country. I'll see you later.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Walked
And,
away.
and the back of a dollar bill shows that.
Mhm.
As you climb that pyramid on the back of your dollar bill, you then go up to the eye
To the
of
all-seeing
God.
eye. Yep.
The all-seeing eye. And from the top of the pyramid, you see everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you exercise your reason. And when you're exercising your reason, you're operating as if God is
Does
in you.
Well, yeah, is in you,
yeah.
but has walked away from
Yeah.
life.
And so, yeah.
Yep.
So
There's an example.
there it is. And we saw that in the last class about William Paley and that watchmaker. This is their idea of a God. So, and it may be one of the few non-anthropomorphic
It's true.
gods.
Yeah.
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 Next, monotheism.
It's all you.
Only one God who deserves worship. Any other God, that's idolatry. God knows all, that's omniscience. Can do all, that's omnipotence. Is everywhere, that's omnipresence. Oh, and all-loving too, by the way. But critical thinkers, can you one God be all four at the same time?
Is it possible?
That'll keep you up late at night trying to
Yeah.
figure that one out.
That's a 2 a.m. stare at the wall kind of question.
Yeah. So primary examples of monotheism would be Christianity, Judaism, Islam. Islam is probably maybe the most monotheistic that I know of.
Yeah.
Downsides of monotheism, jealousy on the part of God. Feelings of superiority on the part of the believers. Genocides, dualism, and thus conflict.
Yep.
Yeah. My God, I will go to war for this God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will die for this God.
So one God, there are no more, no others, don't even think about it.
Right. So then there's ethical monotheism.
Okay?
Throw that ethics word in there.
Yeah.
So it's not enough the one God knows all and can do all. Right? God is the source for all things morally good and perfect. Ergo, so must we seek to reproduce this on earth, like Jesus in the Lord's Prayer.
Yeah. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
It's great for social justice, right, and those kind of concerns. Martin Luther King Jr. inspired ethical monotheism to this day. If you've ever thought that God was on the side of the poor or the downtrodden, you might be an ethical monotheist.
Yeah.
You know, you're poor, you're tired, you're huddled masses. One good God, and we are all included in its power, so we must be as good as God.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is kind of cool calling.
Kind of uplifting.
Yeah, but you may be hard to live with.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay.
That's enough, right?
Yeah. Okay. So here's emphasis on God's justice from Moses to the
Mm-hmm.
prophets. Okay. Okay. And there's some quotes from the Bible that I'll let you read for yourselves about this ethical monotheism. Some of the prophets are really strong ethical monotheists.
Monotheists.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Next, tritheism. Tritheism, prefix tri, means three. It's the belief that God is in three incarnations, but each by themselves are distinct God. Each one is an independent center of consciousness and determination. Christianity has been seen as a tritheism, and often is by Muslims. But Wicca also has a trinity of three phases of the goddess: maiden, mother, crone. Hinduism, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. The three are viewed as separate but united. Okay?
Next, agnosticism.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know if there's a God. I care if there's a God, but I don't see the evidence one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's probably something there. But I don't know what it is,
Mm-hmm.
and nothing's convinced me that it is there,
Yeah.
but I want there to be.
Yeah.
So there may be a God somewhere, but since I can't know this God or its location, I must honestly not say anything about God. Tight-lipped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah. And the word agnosticism starts with the word which is means not.
Mm-hmm.
And Gnostic means knowledge. So no knowledge. You just have no evidence to say there's yes a God or no a God.
I mean, so pervasive
No.
in society that in AA,
Yeah.
in the big book, there's actually a chapter called We Agnostics.
Yeah. Okay, for this next one, it's called monotheism, and there's maybe a warning I need to tell you. There's some really extreme images coming up on your screen. But monotheism, mal means evil. Theism is God. It's also called dystheism. The God or the gods who do exist are all evil. And they cause a lot of suffering. And they're not worth human worship.
Mm-hmm.
And you may have seen some of these signs from a certain church out in Kansas.
Yep.
Okay, so but basically the message is that God hates you, and basically because of what you've done.
Yep.
All right. So
Yeah. And you deserve
Yeah.
the bad that you're getting.
yeah, and then atheism.
There is no God, and for many atheists, I'm the prophet of that.
And they can be
No
very
God, and here I am.
they can be very strong.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. God, what God? There is no God, and we are all atheists about most gods.
Yeah,
You know, but some of us just go one God further.
go all the way.
Yeah,
and say there's
yeah,
no
all the
God.
way to
Yeah.
say there's none.
Okay. In other words, that is, you've probably don't believe in the same God now that you believed when you were 3 or 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You've killed off or let that God go.
Right.
So in some ways, you're a practicing atheist to keep your idea of God
Active.
active. Yeah.
Yeah.
So next is misotheism, or hating God.
Yep.
Misotheism does not deny a God, does not deny the God's existence, but just outright hates God. Or maybe God hates us. Okay? They say, I hate God, God's useless, God's evil, or even both. And this is atheism to the extreme degree. Okay? So, Chandler, I have an idea of God, one I'm actually trying to deconstruct to this day, because I grew up in a dualist culture with a dualist religion, with an idea of a Platonic God.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yep.
So here's the slides I want to show here,
Oh yeah.
and that the Platonic world is up in a heaven, and that's where all the goodness
good's
is, and the perfection is.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea here in the classroom that most people talk about is the idea of a horse. The idea of a horse is not on earth. It's alive up in heaven. What I'm seeing is a pale reproduction of a horse out in the fields.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the true horse.
Right.
The horse nest is somewhere else. I just see a pale.
It's just an image of the
Yeah.
horse. Yeah.
Likewise with beauty. Beauty's up in the heavens, sheer beauty. And so I think about it, I think about the concept, and then I can see pale representations in the flower or in that person of the gender that I like the most, okay?
Yeah.
And then we will make beauty like photography or painting as
sculpture
reproductions.
Yep.
But it means that everything that's good is beyond my ability to know.
We can just see very small
Yeah.
elements of that.
And so you never would question this Platonic God. Because God knows.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
everything is there.
Yeah.
We just
And
get to see little bitty parts of
we
it.
get to see watered down parts.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So the take home of all this, the reigning philosophy at the time of a religion's founding heavily influences how that God is supposed to look and act and create and what that God loves and hates. So a religion that starts like today with the God would not be the same at all as a religion that began 2,000 or years ago or so. As Karl Marx said, the reigning ideas of any age are the ideas put forth by the ruling classes because they build their gods with the raw materials and the ideas of their age, their culture, and they do not interrogate these ideas as false or true. They just say they're the real thing. So finally, got a question?
Hit us with it.
Yeah, hit us with it.
Yeah,
Let us
email
know.
us.
Yeah, and we'll address it really soon. I promise you.
So, as always, make sure you're doing your critical thinking because you don't want to become someone's bitch.
We thank you for joining us in the class. If you like it, let us know. Let someone else know. If you don't like it, let us know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm Chandler.
I'm Mark.
See you later.
Bye.